Okay, I guess by now I can say welcome back to my Half-Lives series, because I'm actually going to cover their newest release, Victim, in today's video. And if you're like me, you would have probably noticed a bit of a pattern with the single names, because we had Villain, then we had Vibe, Victim. Whatever it's going to be, if it's going to be like an album or EP, like obviously we don't know yet, but it seems like it could be like the V collection or something, I don't know. Yeah, without further ado, I'd say let's dive right into the video and song. Wow, okay, opening is already... Okay, it's a tipped over plant. It looks like a crime scene, like from this first little cover image, but let's see. Oh, it is a crime scene. Detective Linda! Oh, Oscar? Detective Linda and Oscar. Oh, okay, wow, this is different than I expected. Oh, this is catchy. I kind of want that blazer and that top. Ooh, that, ooh. Wow, oh. Wow. Holy shit. That gives me Prisoner by Dua Lipa vibes. Okay. Oh, body bag? Who's gonna be the body bag one? Yes! I had the feeling that would be wasn't. That's actually really smart. That almost looks like a jacket, like a giant blazer or something. Oh, oh, oh. That was like, I mean some business here at the end. Oh, cool. What I really liked about this video is that it showed a bit of a duality there, because in the chorus it kept on being like, I'm your victim and I like it. So we had her in the body bag at one point, and then at the same time being the detective, so realizing you are the victim. So looking at yourself from like two angles, it's really interesting. I really like the visual concept of this and the aesthetics of it as well. Like, that was a nice video. That was a cool video. Okay, let's dive into the song, which is always my favorite part of these. So overall, I think we can all say that this song seems to be about an abusive relationship, be that a romantic one or platonic one. Within the context of this, I kind of say it's more of a romantic relationship that you're stuck in, and you're playing to this other person's rules. Like, they're really strongly steering and limiting you and in your ways, and you can't really break from that. Like, you're realizing that you're subject to them, their behavior, but you're so stuck in it and so used to it that's almost like, I like it. Start liking being treated like shit, let's put it that way. But then there's like this conflicting aspect in here that's really like, in these moments where you're awake, you're like, I need to leave this behind and save myself, because it's definitely not good. So there's always like this back and forth, which I said earlier is really nicely reflected by that body bag, because Linda was the detective at some point, but then she was also in the body bag, so looking at herself from like two different angles. And then that's very much reflected of this aspect of, you realize you're the victim, you're analyzing the situation and what happened, and it's kind of your turn to make a decision. Am I out or am I in? Am I gonna leave this behind or won't I? Like, will I be subject to this much longer or will I not? that's kind of this back and forth. So looking at the intro, we already really strongly have this aspect of you're stuck playing by someone else's rules, quite literally. So you like playing by their rules, even though they're limiting you and who you are and what you are. And they don't give a fuck about what living to their rules, to their behavior, what that is doing to you. In verse 1, we have a first indication of violence, which in the video, of course, is quite present, or like quite indicated from the very beginning due to the crime scene we're shown there, and the knife at some point. But here it's kind of indicated by the lyrics. First you have the hurricane, you're a mess everywhere. So that someone kind of forcefully comes into your life and they've kind of overpowered everything. What I think is really interesting here with the house is a house is a home, it's comfort, it's safety, and the person has broken into that. So in a way, they've broken your comfort, they've broken into your comfort zone, and also broken into your soul and your being, and they've started to change that by just sweeping through it and damaging everything, because they are a hurricane and they are a mess. And there's a side to it where you're like, I wish I knew, like only if I got myself into this and I would have known that this is where it would end, this mess, this damage, then everything would be different. But at the same time, it's like, I guess I knew. So you do kind of admit that there were red flags and you just ignored them. So in the pre-chorus, we have an aspect of desperation that's definitely coming here with the I'm running for my life. You're constantly being lied to. And there's the constant threat of physical pain, of emotional pain. And then the chorus, it's very much saying, but you don't give a fuck. No matter how damaging everything is to me, you obviously see it, but you don't care. This game, which is in the second part of the chorus, I play your game and I still suck. It's like you keep on playing along to the rules, but it doesn't work because they're not your rules. This is not your life, and this is not really how you want to live your life. But you're so stuck in it that you can't really break from it. I feel the damage, but I almost like it. You kind of become addicted to the pain and to the toxicity of this state. And here in the second verse, it seems to be a lot more conscious and switched on. So you're a little less oblivious to the whole situation. So you realize that this person is dragging you down, that they are not good for you, but you're like, I think I'm letting you do it because in a weird, messed up way, I like you doing that. And what I think here is like a really strong, but with the blood inside my mouth when I'm awake. What I think is interesting about this one is, once again, this can refer to something more on a metaphorical sense, but also on a very like obvious sense. So in a physically abusing relationship, this could almost be like blood inside my mouth from being beaten up, like having experienced physical abuse. But at the same time, because it's in the combination with I'm awake, as in like you're kind of switched on, you're kind of looking at the situation from a fresh angle and realizing what's happening. So the blood inside your mouth is also maybe you're biting your tongue because you're realizing how messed up this is, and you kind of want to say something to break from this game, to break from them, to get away. You want to say I'm leaving, but then you really can't that much because you're still stuck in this toxic cycle. So it's the blood from biting your tongue and not saying the words you need to say to get out of this. But then here is really this point of the realization sinks in so much. Believe me now when I say I'm see-through, and now I know. So this is like an aspect that made me question my whole previous interpretation of the song, to be honest. Because up to this point I was like, interesting, I think this is about like an actual person being the abuser. But here I was like, maybe it's not an actual person. Maybe it's you yourself. The doubt, it's the negative thoughts in your head. Because when believe me now, I say you're see-through. So it's something that's happening in your head. And sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. And that's kind of what could be happening here. And the next kind of lyrics could indicate both aspects. To save myself, I should let it go. So let go all this negativity, or let go this toxic behavior that you're having in a relationship. And then at the end, once again, it's just like, don't you care? Don't you care what you're doing to me? It could be an inner conversation you're having with yourself, or a conversation that you're having with another person. Now let's have a look at the post-chorus, where we directly have an indication of an explosive mixture with the you're the spark and I'm the gasoline. So the combination is gonna inevitably go up with flame. Be that you and someone else, or be that the two sides of your mind constantly in argument. It's as if you're saying, isn't this your end goal? That's just gonna be over, that you're completely like gonna break me, kill me in the sense, like at the end in the video, she's obviously in the body bag, so Is this the end goal? Because if this all continues, no matter if it's like a relationship with a person or if it's something that happens in your head, that's what will be at the end. Alright everyone, that was it for today. If you enjoyed this little analysis, make sure to hit subscribe, thumbs up, comment, and hopefully I will be seeing you in another video. And maybe we'll actually find out the actual story behind the song, because obviously this was like my interpretation. But let me know, HALFLIVES. Was I spot on? Was I way off? I guess we'll see.